Your job just does not deserve you. And I mean that sincerely because these 9 to 5s, man, they'll work you to death and they'll have you out here feeling guilty for things that you should not even be feeling guilty for. So if you can relate, this video is for you. If you're trying to leave your 9 to 5, this is how I left my 9 to 5 the first time. Yeah, this should just give you a good little background and just an idea of how you can do it too, because it is possible. It's something that you got to kind of plan for and stuff like that. It's not just something you can just get up and just do, especially in the way that the economy is right now. However, it can be done. It's just a little bit of a process. So this is how I left my 9 to 5 the first time. So it was back in late 2019. I had just got out the military, and I started working at Papa John's because I moved. I was in New Mexico. I was stationed in New Mexico. I moved to South Carolina. I loved it there. Moved to South Carolina, and I just needed a job. So the first job I got was Papa John's, and I was working there as delivery driver. I was making all right money. It was mostly just off of tips and everything. I was mostly driving and stuff like that, and I enjoyed driving, so that's what I was doing. So on the side, I had started picking up little side gig type jobs like DoorDash, Poshmark, Uber, Lyft, things like that. And I was just kind of trying to get money basically because I was just trying to get out on my own. I had moved with my dad, and we were over there, and so we were just trying to get out and get our own place and stuff. So I had no idea what it could have ended up turning into. I was at Papa John's. This was about November 2019. I started there. I was working there only for about a month or so until like the transition started happening. I was doing that, and I was doing mostly Uber and Lyft. Poshmark, it didn't really do that great in that area, and I enjoyed driving a lot. I didn't really care to do delivery because I was already doing delivery, but DoorDash, depending on where you're at and stuff, can also do good. Now, I lived near more of like a city area. I was living near Greenville, Spartanburg area, so those are a little bit bigger than some other cities that y'all might live in. I don't know, but you can definitely check out how it's doing. Just go ahead and sign up for the app. Long story short, what I did was I started doing Uber and Lyft right after my shifts, or just like on my days off and stuff, to kind of get a feel for like how it was working, how it worked and everything, and how the people were in my area. And surprisingly, a lot of people, as far as I experience, a lot of people, when you're driving Uber and Lyft and stuff, you know, they kind of respect you because you're driving them, so you're in total control of the car. So most of the time, I mean, you hear stories, but you'll hear stories at any job or any place doing anything. That's just one thing to look out for, because doing delivery for Papa John's, I mean, there's definitely a lot of delivery stories out there, but people still deliver pizzas, right? I was doing that, and a lot of people were actually really nice. So it was very surprising that, you know, a lot of people, you hear these stories and stuff, but it really wasn't even like that. People were just nice, or they just mind their own business. They just get in and they just trying to get to their destination. So a lot of the time, people just talk and they just want you to listen to them or things like that. So it's really not even that. It wasn't really that difficult. I can give it that. I liked it. And if you enjoy driving and stuff like that, then you can definitely do that. The only thing is you have to use your own car, just like doing delivery at another place or anything like that. But you do get tax write-offs. I was doing both of those at the same time. Let's say you get about $20 an hour or so, I would say. Depends on how your tips are and stuff. You can get a lot more, but on average, it's about $20 an hour. If you're, I mean, most places minimum wage is not $20, I would say. It's definitely under $20. You making that $20 an hour is actually, it's pretty beneficial, and there's really no taxes taken out, because as an independent contractor, you're able to write off your gas, your mileage, and all those types of things that you need for your car goes as expenses. But they also, whenever you do your taxes, they also have something that does it automatically for you, so you don't have to like itemize everything. But you can if you want to. You can just track your miles with Stride and keep your receipts and things like that, and you can itemize if you want to. But most of the time, you just take like the standard deduction, and I didn't end up ever owing anything. So I was making about anywhere between $500 to $600 a week, and sometimes I wouldn't even have to do 40 hours because that's mostly what I was doing. I would be right under 40 hours sometimes. It really depends on the day and the location. So it's important that you check out your area before you just go and quit your job and just say I'm doing Uber and Lyft. But what you can do is, here's the hack. You, especially if you want to add DoorDash or Instacart onto this as well, what you do is you turn on, what I did, I would turn on Uber and I would turn on Lyft. And as soon as I would get an order from, or a drive from either one of those, then I would turn off the other one and then go pick up the person that was on either Uber or on Lyft. And then sometimes, if you don't know this, sometimes they have bonuses and stuff too, depending on the location, if there's not a lot of people around, or if it's really busy or stuff like that, or if you live near an airport. Like those runs, I did some runs from Spartanburg area all the way up to Charlotte International Airport, and man, that was a good little run. I remember, especially with the tip, I mean, that was like $100 ride, and it was maybe an hour and a half drive. Of course, you got to drive back, so it was about 3 hours, but I mean, I made $100 and you don't really have to pay taxes. So, and if you have a good car that's good on gas, which I would highly recommend, if it's not like a Prius or electric or something, definitely like a Camry or Corolla, something that's reliable, where you're not going to be spending everything that you just earned on it in gas and and just like repairs and things like that you might need along the way. But I never really experienced anything crazy. The one thing I did experience was a flat tire. I forgot exactly what happened, to be honest, but I know I was kind of left for a little bit, and then I think I just put air in my tire until I was able to make it home or something, and then I ended up like changing it later or something like that, or getting it repaired. That's mainly like the only thing that had happened when I was doing that. But that's an easy way, depending on your location, that you can leave your 9 to 5 if you don't like it, and it gives you that freedom to be able to work when you want to. Now, you can't just entirely work when you want to. I'm going to rephrase that, because you don't have a boss saying that you have to come in or you have to work these certain hours. But if in your area it's busier than others, then yes, you're gonna have to work during those times. And sometimes it could be really early, or you could work into the night. You know, if you live around a lot of bars and nightclubs, nightlife, things like that, those are what's really gonna help you out as well, because you can get those quick runs from that area back and forth. So it really depends on how your area is too, because you could get a lot of quick runs if you live in like a city area, and if you live in a further area, you can get longer runs. You could take people an hour away, 40 minutes away, and those pay really well. That's pretty much all you have to do to be able to leave your 9 to 5. You can mix a couple of those together if it's not enough for you. Mix a couple of those together if it's not enough for you. Like I said, Instacart also pays about $20 an hour, roughly. I'm not too big of a fan of Instacart, but it definitely does help whenever I need it. It's there. Instacart lately has been kind of like down a little bit. I don't know, like $10, $15. And then especially when you get the double orders, where you'll have to run two different people's shopping orders in one, can kind of slow you down, especially if you're running from this side of the store and this side of the store. Because the app, it'll try to categorize everything and let you know like the shelf and the aisle and everything, but sometimes it doesn't do that great of a job. And like I said, it depends on the store as well, and your location of where you're at, and how well you know your shopping place is. You get to know it as you do it, as it would be for Uber and Lyft. But my biggest thing was doing Uber and Lyft. That was where I made pretty decent money. There was some nights where I'd only work 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, if that, and I would make all the money I needed for that day. Now, if you want to be greedy and you want to keep going, you can keep going, and you might not have to work the next day or however it is. But if you want that freedom, if you want more time, that's how you do it. You just set an amount, and then once you reach that amount, you're done for the day. And that's really how you leave your 9 to 5. You just have to set that intention, and then once you start looking for ways to leave, they're gonna start coming out to you. It's the same thing as when you just bought a car, or you notice a certain car and then you just start seeing it everywhere. That's just how your brain works. That's just how it works. So I'm not gonna go too spiritual on you. That's exactly how it works. Once you focus on that, you can get out. Now, if you make a lot more than that, then I don't know what to tell you as far as that. Like I said, you can mix the two together. You might end up working a little bit more hours than you did at your job, but you do have that freedom to say, hey, I don't want to come in today, or I want to take that vacation, or I'm not feeling well. You don't have to worry about sick time, vacation time, none of that. The only thing is, of course, you don't get benefits. You do get the benefit of choosing when, where, how you work. You can buy stuff for your car, make it all nice and stuff. You can buy candy, buy drinks, whatever you want to do to try to get your tips. Like I said, it depends on your location, but hope this helped you guys out. Appreciate you guys, and good luck out there getting out your 9 to 5, because they definitely don't deserve you. You don't deserve to keep putting in crazy hours, doing all this just unnecessary stuff. It's unnecessary stress. I don't feel like we're here on this earth to just be working and then we die. That's not right. So hope that helped you guys out. Good luck to you guys trying to get out your 9 to 5, and I'll catch you in the next video.